All right, it's Cop Talk Live, changing cop culture. I'm Dominic Izzo. And you got the doubling up audio that I really need a producer on. It's only been, I started this show in 2017, and I still can't get a producer. It is what it is. Anybody wants to do that, you're more than welcome to. Every Wednesday night, we go live, and we talk about law enforcement issues. And normally I'm critiquing law enforcement video. For those who are new for the first time, I'm a retired cop from the Chicago area. I love the profession of law enforcement, but I'm openly critical. This is becoming one of the most infestedly corrupt professions on the planet, and I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to say that it's no longer a few bad apples. The orchards are fucking rotten in law enforcement, and we need a change. I appreciate whenever we go live and I open the phones. The phones will be open today, 708-982-0974. Open them a little bit. I appreciate the feedback and the comments and the content and all this, but we have to really make a dent, and we have to make a change in law enforcement if this country is about to survive. I have SeanPaul Reyes with me tonight, Long Island Audit. It's the second time. It's great to see you again. It's been about a year since we had a conversation. So I appreciate
that long already. Wow.
I think so. But it's shitty that you're on here tonight. You've been asked to be on all over the place, and I thank you for your time. But once again, for those who don't know, SeanPaul's he's, in my opinion, the premier, the standard of First Amendment auditors in America. And there's a lot of you guys that are great. Rewind a little over a year ago, I would have said SeanPaul is an instigator and blah, blah, but the work that he does is invaluable. It is beyond necessary. We're not going to play it. The videos are viral right now. SeanPaul went to the home as an investigative journalist of an off-duty Connecticut state trooper, had a gun pulled on him, was spit in the face. 6-7 responding officers showed up in Groton, Connecticut. The only person who was arrested was SeanPaul, and some charges happened to you, and we need to talk about that. We're going to have a conversation about that day, about the inner workings of you, what you went through, why you're going through it, because I'm going to tell you, as I told you before, you seem very like Teflon when you're on these incidents that you have the balls to go do an audit in First Amendment. But I want to know what you experienced at the hands of law enforcement, and we need to have that conversation today. But so, number one, welcome, and it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. Thank you for having me. And I just like to notice that my cameraman was also a victim in this situation as well. He also was arrested, but we can get to that.
Let's talk about the incident for a second, and let's talk about what you do. You're what's called a First Amendment auditor, and this is a relatively new phenomenon in the United States, especially with YouTube and social media. And what that means is, for some people, what that means is you go around and you provoke, you instigate, you're a provocateur of police interactions with people. Now, as a retired cop, that would have been my stance. What the world should be seeing is you're a citizen and a taxpayer, and you support the Constitution, and you go and you video the reaction of law enforcement to see if they're honoring their oath. Would you qualify it as that, or what is a First Amendment auditor, and why do you do it?
So I've transformed over the years. I've been doing this for 4 years now, but definitely when I first started, that was the main focus was, hey, I used to watch these other auditors out there, and I thought some of them, provoked a little bit too much, in my opinion. So I said, you know what, let me go out there, be the man my mother raised me to be. No one was doing it on Long Island that I knew of at the time. So I wanted to test my local cops, and my first video went viral, and I kept doing it. And I kept getting worse and worse reactions, and it was concerning to me because I'm not an anti-law enforcement guy. People have known that. I've said that for 4 years. I'm not some defund the police. I'm not of some defund the police mindset. I believe in law and order. I believe law enforcement is necessary. I just believe law enforcement officers should be held to a high standard. And I go out there and I peacefully, never once curse, never once get in anybody's face. I peacefully exercise my rights. And I let the officers, it's a test on them. Are their egos going to get involved? Are their lack of knowledge on the law going to get involved? Are they going to unlawfully detain me? Are they going to say, well, I can detain you just because I got a call? Everything. And I've learned so much about the law and surrounded myself with other officers as well as lawyers that have taught me so much. And I've learned so much in the last 4 years. I use that knowledge to test law enforcement officers.
Now you have no passion when you go to these calls. You're very even keel. You're professional. You get threatened to be arrested, and you don't fucking shake. You're like, okay, that's great. But what does it mean to you as you went through the learning process that our law enforcement is not what you thought it was? Or is that fair to say? Is our law enforcement what you thought it was growing up? Because I can't believe that we're in 2025 and you're still employed. You should be out of a job by now for what you've done. Cops should see you come in and go, awesome to see you, Sean. Have a great day. But they still, what has it meant to you knowing that, yeah, people think you hate cops, but you're out there really to expose bad law enforcement? How has that affected you emotionally that you saw our American police officers are not what they say they are?
Yeah, so it's definitely disappointing that law enforcement officers still in 2025 engage in this sort of ego-driven, ignorant behavior when it comes to people recording them. And it's more than just that, right? It's more than just people who record them. But for our purposes, I record the police. It's definitely disappointing. I thought of law enforcement as a necessary job. I still do, but I thought they had higher standards. And when I first started, I always used to say, when a law enforcement officer violated my rights or unlawfully detained me, I was so ignorant and naive. This is how much I didn't know, is that I would say, well, now you're going to get fired. And now I watch back my old videos and I'm like, what an ignorant, stupid statement that I made now that I'm wiser to the inner workings of law enforcement and their accountability or lack thereof. Now I look back, I'm like, what a stupid thing to say. But when I first started, I thought that if you unlawfully detained somebody, I thought if you violated somebody's rights as a law enforcement officer, that you would be fired. That's what I thought. And now you can obviously spit in people's faces. You can assault them. You can do so much different things, violate their rights, and you just go to work the next day like nothing ever happened, just like Sergeant Brian Fahey did. He is currently at work like nothing ever happened.
I'm a step further than you. I don't believe termination is enough. I believe that if you willingly enter in a profession where you're responsible for safeguarding the rights, the foundation of our lives in the United States, and you knowingly and willfully violate them, I believe that should be capital punishment. That's treason. So I don't agree with you on the firing. I think it should be a criminal offense. We found this out in the hard way. I went to a use of force instructor class in 2015, and the instructor sat there, and I tell this story a lot because it shows what I didn't know. And he goes, first question out of his mouth, he goes, show of hands. How many of you ever said, hey, shut your mouth or you're about to go to jail? Every single one of us, class of 40, our arms just shot up in the air. Because it's the greatest threat in the world. Shut the fuck up or you're about to go to jail. And he goes, congratulations. If any of you ever put your handcuffs on somebody after they spoke after that, you just violated their First Amendment right. And I went, okay, I never have, because everyone shuts up. But I'm like, oh my God, I never realized that. If I did that, we don't take it seriously enough. You show up to a scene and a guy kills his wife, he's got the gun in his hands, and he just says, I just shot and killed her, and you go, shut the fuck up, or you're going to go to jail. And he goes, well, yeah, but that's it, you're going to jail. You should have a lawyer go, no, this guy's free to go. It's fruit of the poisonous tree after that. We don't take our rights seriously enough. You talked about in the beginning of your stages, you were like, oh, you're going to get fired and this and that. You advanced 4 years, you're doing these videos, you've got to be constantly just either A, disappointed, well, these cops are going to fuck up again, or you're like, this is the standard in America. But on the video you did when that disgusting, abhorrent excuse for a police officer, Brian Fahey, charged you with a pistol. And for those who are wondering my position, Fahey should be in prison or jail waiting his court date for at least, I don't know what the state would be. In Illinois, it would be aggravated assault with a firearm. He identified himself as a police officer. In my opinion, then he was acting as a sworn duty peace officer, not as a resident defending his home, and he used a firearm, deadly force. He used deadly force on you unjustified. I think it's that extreme, and he should be criminally held accountable. But you kept saying in there, you're going to jail, buddy. You're going to jail. You knew a crime was committed. And 7 cops show up, 6 cops show up, and they don't do their job. I need to know, what was your mindset of like, even if it was like, yes, I finally got somebody, I pushed his buttons, which there's nothing wrong. You could do it all you want. I don't fucking care. And you saw we're going to have criminal accountability held on our law enforcement. What was it like when it just did not happen?
So right from the beginning, obviously I've never once said this, that, this is me investigating Sergeant Brian Fahey. I've been doing it since 2021, ever since he first assaulted me and violated my rights. He did it again in 2023. Now we're in 2025. I didn't think that Sergeant Brian Fahey was going to like me knocking on his door asking about this $80,000 in overtime. I'm not naive, and I'm not going to be disingenuous and tell the viewers that I just thought he was just going to, answer my questions. I would want him to answer the question, but I thought he was going to be upset. I think he was going to pull a gun on me and spit in my face and mouth. No, I did not think it was going to go that far, and I did not want it to go that far. So right off the initial...
I have to interrupt you. You're such a class act, but I'm going to tell you, you're fucking downplaying this. As an investigative journalist, yeah, you went to somebody's house, and the world is vilifying you right now. Social media is vilifying you for going, well, you shouldn't have gone to his place, right? And we could say, well, Sean, you knew this, you should have sent somebody else. But then again, there's no integrity in that because you're not backing up your words and your follow through. Right. You are so downplaying this. You went to somebody's home. Private property, I live in a cul-de-sac. Okay, you come to my home, knock on my door. Hey, get out of here, I don't want you. Close the door, call the cops. Right. You have a man who told you to get the fuck out, and I counted. It was 4.5, 5 seconds. You immediately began to move, and you never stopped. This man went into his home and grabbed a fucking gun and charged you. And here's you, all calm and collected and cool. This is not acceptable. You are a victim in so many ways that's just beyond nauseating and offensive that I don't think you've let that set in yet. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but the cops show up. You have a fucking man who's a cop approaching you with a gun, and the cops show up and nothing happens. Yeah.
I'll tell you straight out, at the end of the day, he did approach me, and I saw the gun in his hand. He said he had a gun in his hand. I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm talking to the camera like he doesn't want to answer our questions. He's a coward. He doesn't want to answer any of our questions about his overtime. And I was going to go back to the cul-de-sac and continue my video. When I heard the door open, that's when I turned around. I wasn't even facing his house anymore. That's when I turned around and I saw him charging at me with the gun. And I'm like, this guy's going to... My first reaction is he's going to kill me. He is going to kill me. He is going to kill me. And my second reaction is my poor camera guy. I brought this college kid. I hired this college kid to be a photographer, and now he's in danger. And he's told me he's going to therapy as we speak over this incident. He is traumatized by the entire ordeal. And then he spits in my face, and my first reaction was to defend myself. I've never been violated like that in my entire life. 34 years, I have never been violated in such a way. And especially where I don't even defend myself over it. But I was cognizant he has a gun. He is looking for an excuse to unload his clip and kill me right here. On top of that, he's lying to 911 saying that I threatened to kill him. I've never publicly, privately, anything have ever threatened to kill him. Sean, he was laying the groundwork for him to kill me.
Yes, he was.
That's what he was trying. That's what he was doing. And then to your point, when the law enforcement officers got there, when he spit in my face, the first thing that came to my mind, to your point, is, got him. Now you're going to jail. You never went to jail the first time. You didn't go to jail the second time you violated my rights. You assaulted me. You violated me. Now I got you. You're going to jail now. You're going to face accountability. I got it all on camera. You spit in my face, you disgusting, vile piece of shit. And guess what? Law enforcement officers get there. I'm like, go arrest him. And they don't do it. And then they arrest me. It was like I was being violated all over again. Spit in the face. I don't know what was worse, being spat on in the face or being arrested because they were protecting the man who did it. It was I'm sitting in that cell for 6 hours and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Where do I live? Bizarro world? It was horrible. It was horrible.
What's even more horrible is your cameraman saves your life. There is no question. If you look at what he did, he was smart. He called 911 and was screaming the entire time, which got the cavalry to show up. He was setting the stage. If that cameraman was not there, he would have shot and killed you and claimed self-defense. He's in a lawsuit for shooting somebody else. So he's a firearms approval, card carry approval for the state. He is somebody who is very, very familiar with to use that deadly force. He had every intent on deadly force. That cameraman saved your life, and I don't think that's hit you yet. That man was going to kill you.
It didn't hit me it didn't hit me too much in the moment. When I was in the cell, it still didn't hit me. When I got home at 4 a.m. that night from Connecticut, drove back to Long Island, and when I got home and laid in the bed, I was like, I could have died today. Like, this man could have taken my life. I have 2 little children, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then an 11-year-old, and I'm like, this man could have killed me. And I went to jail. And that's the part that really gets me, is that not only could I have lost my life, but I could have lost my life. And it just, thank God I didn't. And the cameraman he was great. He did a great job. He could have just dropped the camera and run. He held it steady. He held it right on where it needed to be. He did everything right. And that he wasn't held accountable for it. I don't think, maybe my adrenaline's still going. Maybe I'm still not realizing it, but I do realize after after it happened, after I'm watching the video, after I'm really talking to everybody, I'm like, yeah, he was trying to kill me. He was going to kill me. And if it wasn't for, he kept looking over at the cameraman too. He kept looking over, glancing over at him, and the fact that he was able to sleep in his bed that night and not have any accountability whatsoever, it's preposterous. It really is.
A couple different things that you exposed on that is, number one, you exposed more sociopath aspects of cops. We do. We think that we are untouchable, invincible, put that badge on. We think that you're beneath us. There is I never understood the saying, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, until I left law enforcement. I went, oh my God, I can't believe that. One of the things that you exposed biggest that I saw yesterday, and I couldn't believe was the issue, is, now I was blessed to be in a department where you showed up on scene and you had evidence of criminal activity, the totality of the circumstances, the elements of the offense. You made an arrest. I didn't understand, and I was so impressed with the beginning of that Sergeant D'Angelo and his demeanor and his professionalism and his personal, and then he sees the clearest evidence I have ever seen, and then starts to talk to you like you wore a mini skirt and a bra to a bar and you were just asking to be raped. Number one, no woman who ever brings a sexual assault claim to the Groton Police Department in Connecticut will ever be taken seriously by that department. You are all better off just dealing in your shame and guilt and whatever trauma you have, because those men and women will not fucking help you. That being said, and I'm not victim blaming either, you expose something, because the amount of people who were in my comments after that saying, well, now, and to sum this up, police don't make arrests unless they're there to observe a crime. Now, last time I checked, unless it's vehicle enforcement, every single 911 call I responded to was a reaction. I was post the offense happening. It was my job to do an investigation, the totality of the circumstances, the evidence of fact, get a warrant, or if I found the offender within a reasonable amount of time, make an offense. The amount of cops who DM'd me yesterday saying, yeah, our state's attorney, our district attorney, my sheriff, my chief, we have unwritten policy. They will not let us make misdemeanor arrests. Inadvertently, you just exposed that the police can no longer or will no longer help American citizens on what they would consider an offense. How does that make you feel, that you just exposed cops will not do their fucking job?
Well, it's horrible that that's happening, that you're getting those DMs from law enforcement across the country. They're telling you they cannot make misdemeanor arrests. But the caveat is they cannot make misdemeanor arrests unless it's to protect one of their own. because they made a misdemeanor arrest, 2 of them that day. You know, I saw those stories you were posting on your Instagram. And they're like, oh, you know, they handled it right. They weren't going to make an arrest. The most I would do is submit a warrant. You know, there was no way in any world that he was ever going to go to jail that day. I went to jail that day. I did. They didn't witness me do anything. They didn't witness me commit any crimes. I didn't commit any crimes. I'm charged with voyeurism, criminal trespassing, and breach of the peace, none of which I fit any of the elements of. So they couldn't witness it. And they still arrested me without a warrant. They could have submitted a warrant for me. They could have said, hey, you know what? We're going to submit warrants for everyone, and we're going to let the state's attorney handle it. But they didn't do that. Why? Because he was a Connecticut state trooper. Why did they raise my bond from $10,000 to $75,000? Because they were receiving calls. They told me in the cell, Mr. Reyes, your bond's going to be set at $10,000, because in Connecticut, for I don't know what reason, the police officers set the bond. The commanding officer sets your initial bond in Connecticut. And they said, we're setting yours at $10,000, and we're going to give your cameraman a promise to appear. You have to sign the paper. And then they come back an hour later saying, because this is a state trooper, there's a lot of moving parts. We've been receiving a lot of phone calls about this, and your bond is now $75,000 and your cameraman's is $50,000. Like, again, the retaliation didn't stop. Like, the violation didn't stop just once they put cuffs on me. It kept going. And they wanted me to spend the weekend in jail. That was the whole purpose. They wanted me to spend till Monday morning in jail. Luckily, I got a hold of a bail bondsman. I used a credit card. I got out. But it didn't stop.
That's an I-bond offense. That's a recognizance bond offense, what you went through. And it's insane. I think now, and I'm not calling for this, I think that it would behoove some people to spit in Brian Fahey's face, because they can't be arrested now. Off duty, because clearly Connecticut said that if you spit on a police officer, you'll be arrested. But I see no reason why Brian Fahey should not be spit on off duty in his private life if he's at the store, because no cop showing up should ever arrest anybody. They weren't there. They're witness that.
Right.
Here poses the question.
That's a bad precedent. It really does, because if they don't charge him, and I'm not saying that they're not going to, there's a lot. We got over 25,000 signatures on the petition that I started late. I didn't even put it up right away. I didn't even know about this change.org thing, but already 25,000 petitions and 25,000 signatures in an hour. I'm sure thousands and thousands of phone calls and emails have been to the state's attorney. If they don't charge him, that is a license for everyone in Connecticut to spit on anyone's face. I'm not going to say Sergeant Brian Fahey. He has an order of protection on me. I never would wish violence on him, but on anyone really. But that's what they're saying. They're condoning spitting, another civilian spitting in somebody's face. It's not illegal in Connecticut, apparently.
I don't understand, because they that should be part of your defense as well too. Well, they didn't observe the crime that they're claiming you arrested, so I don't know why you went in cuffs. Here's a blatant question: why do you still fucking do this? Nothing's going to change. Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you?
It's important to me because I know that there are law enforcement officers out there that do support me. That actually gives me more motivation. I've been invited to law enforcement agencies across the country. I've been invited, regardless of what the majority of law enforcement, I don't even know if it's the majority, but from your Instagram stories and DMs, it seems like a lot of them who hate me. I still get invited to go to do trainings at police departments, district attorneys' offices, and I find a lot of satisfaction in that. It gives me credibility. It helps to bridge the gap. It shows that we're all just humans. We're supposed to all support the United States Constitution. I'm passionate about our constitutional rights. I'm passionate about high standards in law enforcement. Why? Because if not, they will turn into a Gestapo force that will rain hell on everyone. They will just start wearing, all of them are going to start wearing masks. They're just going to kidnap people off of the street, and they're going to have zero accountability. That's why it's important to me, not only for me and my current generation. I have children. I'm fighting for everybody. I want to, and I didn't expect to have, 2 million subscribers across social media, 500 million views. I never expected that. I never expected to make money. Any of that when I first started. I wouldn't make any money. I wasn't having any views, a couple thousand. But now that I've been given this platform, that I feel I have an obligation to use this platform, to use this speaker, this pulpit of speaking to everybody and be able to expose him. Because if Sergeant Fahey and the Groton Police Department can do this to someone like me, who can afford an attorney, who can raise money for an attorney, who can raise money for the $125,000 bond, who has a platform of millions of people across the country, what are they going to do to the kid that has no family, no money? What are they doing to that kid? What are they doing to him? And that's what I'm fighting for.
It happens every day. You're not sensationalizing anything. This is what people don't realize too. The standard of cop has gone in the shitter. We saw the true nature of law enforcement during the lockdown. We saw cops who they did what they were told to keep the paycheck because they were terrified of being unessential employees. That was it. That was the pivotal mark in America.
Right. I agree. I agree.
They became domestic terrorists. There's no other way around it. They violated constitutional rights like crazy, all for a paycheck. Now you fast forward. I truly think that what's happening is they're setting people like you up to be the villain to usurp the Constitution. And I'll get a little bit long-winded for a second. They're hiring now uneducated, inept, untrained, and people just who should not be cops. There's a movement like the 30 by 30 agenda, which says that the movement, and this was started by a woman who has no law enforcement experience, but we need 30% of the police force females by the year 2030. And one of their claims is, well, females commit less excessive force, which is, it's a manipulative lie. If Mike Tyson in his prime is in the ring and you've got 10 cops who are Evander Holyfield's skill and size, and Evander Holyfield pulls out a gun to shoot Mike Tyson to take him into custody, you're going to go, you're Evander Holyfield. What are you doing? That's not right. But if you stick a series of 5'4", 120-pound female cops in the ring with Mike Tyson and say, take him into custody, they're going to say, go to your gun. So it's impossible to qualify females as using excessive force by the very virtue of what they're allowed to get away with. So number one, they're lowering the standards of cops to come in, out-of-shape males, fat males, soy-drinking males, so that they get rid of that command presence and they allow them to use force on citizens. In other words, they're increasing, with DEI and the 30 by 30 agenda, they're increasing the body count of American citizens, and it will be 100% lawfully justified, all by objectively reasonableness. The second thing they're doing is they're creating the echo chamber of social media, where people don't want to serve cops anymore. They want to get the uniform so that now when I go online and talk and I'm in a uniform, you hear about my social agenda. Lesbianism, Muslim, Christian, gay, trans, conservative, whatever their agenda is now has a voice. The people are not serving the Constitution, they're serving themselves. This is how you continue to get the public supporting the police while you increase recidivism. District attorneys don't prosecute, gun charge criminals get back on the street, violent criminals get back on the street, and you create these personas of people, likable, cute kids who are now wearing a badge, and, oh, officer so-and-so is my favorite personality, and this and that. They're creating the likability so that when you come along and you challenge their knowledge on the Constitution, you're the bad guy. Because all they're used to is, hey, officer so-and-so, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? What do you like to wear in your off-duty time? What's your favorite hair care product? But when you come across and say, explain the First Amendment, explain the Fourth Amendment, you're the bad guy. They are attacking knowledgeable patriot citizens who are there to defend their rights, and they're vilifying them so that when it comes down time for you to set the standard and say, hey, we need cops under the Constitution, no, SeanPaul needs to go to jail. He's the criminal here. Our cops aren't. I think that we are at the transition stage of the Brian Faheys are going to be gone, and they're going to be replaced with, you know, the socially acceptable cop who can't use, you know, their knowledge, their force. They're just going to show up and kill you on scene, and the Constitution doesn't matter. So I think what you're doing right now is you're kicking a hornet's nest, and you're upsetting the ruling class of cop right now by you coming across demanding accountability, and those who are like me who are still in the job, and this is ultimately where it's going, You got the guys like me who are still, I'm not still on, but my generation is still on, and they're being phased out. And they're being pushed out by TikTok cops. They're being pushed out by DEI. They're being pushed out by 3030. You come along, you threaten our peace of what we've been able to get away with forever. And they're not going to have that. So on all sides, you, the constitutional lover, the Constitution who's showing up, or the guy who's showing up and saying we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, you're the evil one here. I don't think you realize how bad of a hornet's nest you are really stirring up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand it. I don't understand how I am, again, never once said that we need to abolish police, defund police. I mean, we could have a conversation, whatever. But the point is that all I've ever advocated for was accountability in law enforcement and high standards. Because my problem with law enforcement, I've always preached this, that the two biggest issues are the lack of education, lack of knowledge, the ignorance of a law enforcement officer, and his ego. And they go hand in hand, because when I challenge them, when they're saying, I'm detaining you, and I say, well, you cannot detain me. You do not have reasonable articulable suspicion I have or I'm about to commit a crime. That gets their ego, their lack of knowledge. And they're like, hey, who's this guy coming up to me with a camera telling me my job? I know, I've been doing this. I've dealt with thousands of law enforcement officers across the country. I've been doing this 20 years. Well, you didn't learn the basics of your job. And that you got to be self-reflective. You got to be able to say, hey, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me take a step back. Maybe ask somebody about it, because that lack of knowledge triggers their ego and it hurts them. And they're like, hey, who's this guy telling me my job? You don't tell me what to do. I'm giving the orders here. Yeah, no. No, I'm a law-abiding citizen. You work for me. Unless I'm committing a crime, I tell you what to do, not the other way around. We have, a lot of these, and I've seen it from bootlickers across the country. We have so many bootlickers, and I cannot believe why people would make these cops, put them on a pedestal. Law enforcement, again, nothing against law enforcement. I do trainings. I talk to you, your former law enforcement. I talk to active duty law enforcement. I bring them on my channel. If I hated cops, I would never talk to you. I would never talk to any cop. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck cops, right? But I'm trying to bridge a gap and trying to bring awareness. And I know that if I don't speak with people like you, people like Eric Levine and Two Cops, One Donut, when I don't have these conversations, it's never going to get, but it never helps, right? It never helps. They still hate me. They're still in your DM saying he's just trying to provoke people. He's doing this, X, Y, and Z. And it's a huge problem. Their ego allows them, forces them to act in ways maybe they wouldn't act. I don't know, but the lack of self-control. And then when Sergeant Brian Fahey gets away with something like this, when the world, because the world sees it, it's going viral everywhere. When the world sees it, you think that's going to stop the next Connecticut State Trooper? They're all watching and waiting. They're like, wait a minute. He got that guy. He got that guy, and the guy went to jail, and he's still working. What is that, a deterrence? That's the whole point of law enforcement, right? Is to set deterrence, enforce the law, and set a set of deterrence, an example for everybody else who don't break this law, because this is going to happen to you. Well, when you don't have any deterrence, there is no accountability. It's just going to make the problem even worse.
The problem even worse is we're headed down a really bad path, because you showed your video is damning. Right. What has he done? And it's not just him. You caught one cop that are doing something that so many of them do. We have the video just a couple of months ago that started going viral with the Joseph Joffrion of the Waveland Police Department in a 2.5 hour deposition, admitting he doesn't know his job and violating First Amendment rights. They get away with it.
The arrogance on that man.
He's common. That's common. Yeah. This is my whole point. Is again. If body cameras didn't exist, Sean, 10 years ago you did that, you would have been fucking dead. It would have been that simple. It's so easy to articulate the offense and report.
They've said it. They've said it out loud in Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut. The two cops are walking away. I'm filming outside of a public library. The old cop goes around. He walks away. Body camera, his is off. His partner's is still on. He forgot he left it on. He said 15 years ago, that motherfucker would have been on the ground. 25 years ago, that motherfucker would have been dead. He said it. He said it with his teeth missing. I would have done it. I'm quoting him. And he didn't lose his job for that either. I mean, I'm speechless when it comes to the things that I've seen. And you know, from my very first video to the reason on why I could continue to do it, from the very first video, before I even, it was a horrible experience. The cops out here, the Suffolk County cops, they have since been trained and neutered, and they know better now. But they tried to surround me. They were trying to get position behind me so they can jump on me, and they could. And I'm like, whoa! And I'm new to this. I don't, you know, I'm like terrified. But it ignited. You know, it motivated me. It ignited something inside of me that I was like, no. I don't like the way I just felt. If that's how these cops are making people feel, if that's how law enforcement across the country is making people feel, we pay their salary, man. I got to show you my tax bill sometime, man. My property tax bill on Long Island. Thousands and thousands of dollars every year goes to the police department here. Sergeant Fahey's making $220 a year. Think he deserves to make that much money? Again, if you want to make a lot of money, great. If they want to make if they're going to get paid a lot of money, I'm not saying cops shouldn't be paid, but with the salary comes accountability, comes you answering to your boss.
You're making $220,000 a year, getting away with whatever you want. The problem I have with what you're doing is the American people are waking up, and I don't want this to happen. I really don't, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Is at what point do we have things like Fahey, and God knows what he's done on duty, or we have Joffrey on? At what point do people go, I don't recognize your authority anymore? And at what point do people start exercising their Second Amendment on cops? And I don't want that to happen. But what fucking choice are they giving them? This is some of the issues that you're stirring up right now that I bet you a ton of people are starting to think about. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always for the last 4 years, you know, promoted peaceful resistance. But I see your point. Again, I don't want it to happen either, but I see your point. I see the emails. I get CC'd on the emails when they're sending emails to the state's attorney, to the governor, and people are upset. People are upset. They are calling and threatening officers' lives, right? They are calling and saying, you know what, try that, spit in my face and see what happens, right? The people, and I've got a pulse to the people. I see comments, I see emails, and the people are getting frustrated with this kind of behavior. They're like, you know what? Sean didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything. He knocked on your door. Get over it. Tell him to leave. Trespass him from the property, and it would have been over. But you think you're above the law. You think you could do what you want. And these bootlickers are the worst of the worst offenders, because you're supposed to be part of the people. You're supposed to be part of we the people in our Constitution. And you're sitting over here defending officers like Joffrey and Sergeant Brian Fahey, etc., because you have this fantasy where you think that they're all law enforcement officers are heroes. And, you know, you see the signs outside of the police department, heroes work here. You know, again, can a cop be a hero? Sure. But to idolize this profession, these people are the people that watch Cops and Law and Order SVU. And I blame Law and Order SVU. I'll tell you right now. And as somebody who used to watch Law and Order SVU when I was a younger kid, it is cop propaganda. It is propaganda for the people. It's propaganda for the people, and it's against the people, for law enforcement and for our government, because it shows you every single episode of law enforcement. It's the sleazy defense attorney who gets the criminal out of this on a technicality. The cops are always the heroes. The district attorneys. You know how many district attorneys that are super corrupt that I've seen that will I'm being prosecuted right now. Are you kidding
me? My former county with 2 innocent women being 30-year sentences in prison. I want to get to calls because people are dying to talk to you, but this is so important what you're doing.
Right. Listen, I want to say this really quick. It's propaganda for when, you know why? For when you're in the jury room and you go be a jury, and you're sitting in front of the defendant, and now your mind, after all that Law and Order, all the cops you've seen, all that propaganda, now you're like, well, he wouldn't be sitting here if he was completely innocent. He must have done something wrong. Why would we be here?
I wish to God you were allowed to sit in First Amendment audit grand juries in the process, because people see it on TV all the time. They think grand jury. Let me tell you exactly what grand jury is. Grand jury is you take your report, you get called in for grand jury, you sit, and the assistant state's attorney asks you a series of yes or no questions. That's it. What's your name? Officer Dominic Izzo, so-and-so Police Department. Were you on duty on this date? Yes. Did you observe this vehicle driving this? Yes. Did you arrest this person? Yes. That's it. And then the grand jury decides whether or not they're going to sit there and continue the indictment on somebody. It's a fucking load of shit. Even more, you as a cop can testify for a scene that you weren't even there. How many times we used to sit there and say, hey, you're going to grand jury today? Yeah, I am. Can you take my case for me? Yeah. And you used to testify on behalf of other guys. The system is fucking corrupt. What I want to mention, too, what you're talking about is like with TV, we glorify all the time the cops. How many times do cops get paid to speak on gunfights they were in? All the time. We don't ever see a sold-out venue for Officer John Doe, who spent 35 years on and never got a fucking single complaint and treated the community with the greatest respect possible. We never honor those. We're always honoring the cops who got in a gunfight, pitted 10 vehicles and killed a pregnant fucking mom, and we're celebrating him on top of his squad car. He's just ripping out the bad guy. We want that dog off a leash police officer out there, which you need to be when the time comes, but you need to be stoic on there like crazy. Right. Are you ready to talk to some people? They're fucking dying to talk to people.
Let's do it.
All right, hang on. We're calling. Guys, I put the number in the chat. We're going to call you back in order. If we don't get to you today, we don't get to you today. Sorry. Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Hi. Dominic and Sean, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Canada.
What's up, Canada?
Our Canadian friends.
Am I on the air with you folks?
Yeah, you're live now, dude. What's going on?
Wow, okay. My name is Jason. Sean, I want to just shout out to you, man. Glad you are alive.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I am glad I am alive as well, as is my family. And that's something that I'm taking a little step back from. Just really quick, I want to add this is that, what this is doing to my family. My family watched the videos of my videos, obviously, and it terrifies them. And, that's something that I'm taking a look at, and, but I'm passionate about my mission. I feel like this is my purpose in life.
Do you have something?
It's good. Yeah. Let me share with you folks a little about, I'm Canadian, and I first started following this type of interaction in the U.S. I've been in the U.S. We have a property in Florida. I've been in the U.S. many, many times. Chi-Town, New York. Amagansett Press is the first channel I started watching to see, the interest for entertainment purposes. But I'm also involved in Toronto. Sean, I don't know if Dominic, either of you been up to Toronto?
No.
For sure, right?
Nope.
Neither?
No. Nope.
No, okay. Well, Toronto is the fourth largest city in North America, and I ran here for what you guys call aldermen for our city council because I've seen exactly what's happening in the U.S. Once I watched, we have auditors here, True North Transparency. I'll give him a shout out. Rick has a very different vibe than you, but both, there's such value for the public, for the people, in terms of what you folks are doing. And for anyone like myself, anybody should be concerned about the right a cop who thinks he's entitled to walk up his driveway with a gun and try to stare and intimidate members of the public. What I don't understand about cops themselves and law enforcement, sure, there are many, many good ones, but, if they tolerate that in themselves, they invite that very same behavior to fellow cops. And we all know we've got to up the harmony, the rights of the public. So my name is Jason Stevens. First name is Jason. I'm born in Canada, and I'm running here maybe next year for the mayor of our city of Toronto.
Good,
I'm very familiar with both American. Thanks, guys.
You're best. Appreciate
grazie, Dominic.
I appreciate that.
Both of you, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jason.
I'll let you guys go on the call. Shout out to America. We Canadians love the public in America. We love good cops, and we encourage our police to support Sean and do the right thing on this. Jason Stevens from Toronto saying, thank you, America.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go through some calls. Guys, if you call and I send you the voicemail, my phone's blowing up. We will do our best to call you. Send a text and we'll go down. Sean's got, we got to respect Sean's time. Can you hear me?
I can.
BZ Watchdog, what's going on?
What's going on, Izzo?
Not much. What do you got for Sean?
Hey, man. Sean, you and Delete Laws are the two reasons I audit nowadays, and I like your style more because it's calmer, more slower paced, and more educational. And that's what I try to do. I try not to get all confrontational with these cops. However, I don't agree with the big old billboard, premeditated as it looks, in front of the house, and I did not like you walking across the lawn.
I said that too. Yeah, that was Sean's only mistake. So but it wasn't against the law. Neither one was against the law.
It wasn't against the law. It wasn't against the law. I just didn't agree with it, and I know you didn't break the law because bottom line is we know what we're doing. We do this. I was just more worried about when I watched the video.
I didn't appreciate Fahey assaulting me the first 2 times, violating my constitutional rights the first 2 times, so his lawn could take a little bit of walking on it,
I'm at such a point I would have just dropped trout and shit on that fucker's lawn.
My biggest concern was the fact on what it looked like and what he, as crazy as he is and as violent as he is, I'm surprised he didn't off you and the cameraman and ditch the cameras and then call the police.
That's shocking too. Yeah, BZ, plug your YouTube channel, please.
It's BZ Watchdog YouTube. Again, I do a lot what Sean does. I go investigate at Secret City Council. I do First Amendment audits. It's anything I can do to help the city make change, bridge the gap, educate, bring awareness. Again, it's a lot like what Sean does. I don't have 900,000 subs, man. I only have about 14,000. So anybody that likes Sean's type of style would probably like my style.
Good.
So
well,
I welcome anybody else to come
continue and be safe. We appreciate your time.
Hey, guys, be safe. Thank you for letting me on.
All right. We're going down the list, guy. Man, everybody wants to talk to you.
Getting a lot of calls.
Oh my God, I can't keep up. Guys, I'm sorry, we're not gonna get to
I should do a call-in show one time.
Enjoy.
I can see how you do it. You got to tell me.
484, giving you a call back. Guys, too, if we miss you in the order, sorry about that, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna want to call. All right, moving on to the next. 714.
Imagine Sergeant Brian Fahey.
Oh, I would love it. Hi, sorry we missed your call. You're live with Sean from Long Island Audit.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to 2 rock stars. My name is Kelly. I'm calling from California, and Sean, you're the man. You do everything that I wish I could do, and you're also, both of you are just awesome. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you guys have my support. I'm going to go back and watch.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. And listen, Izzo, I just want to say this really quick before we take the next person, is that people like Kelly, I get a lot of emails from people like her across the country, and I appreciate their support. And a lot of people say, I wish I can challenge authority. I wish I can expose corruption, but I can't for my job, for whatever the case. I'm scared, whatever the case may be. And it makes me feel good that I give those people a voice.
Yes, that's absolutely fantastic. You do, and it's important. I want to make this statement too. While I have gained a ton of supporters the first time you came on and this time, and I want to make a public statement. I have to remind people. Listen, I'm 100% pro law enforcement, but I'm anti-bad cop. And what always happens is people think that by the dynamics of how I speak, because I'm Italian and I'm loud, that I criticize cops. But the times where I do content where I defend and I'm like, oh, this is a good cop, the amount of people in the comment section, oh, I knew you were too good to be true. So for all you new awesome supporters, I love you, but I'm not here to be your fucking friend. I am here to expose bad law enforcement and support good law enforcement, and I appreciate this discourse. Call me out in the comment section, but fuck you.
And I want to say, I sometimes I bring law enforcement officers on my channel. I will, I have good law enforcement on my videos and, good interaction. And I get that too. But you have to remember, Izzo, there's going to be people on both sides of it that are not going to see the big picture or whatever. And that's fine. They can have their own opinion. Let us know in the comment section. It's fine. But at the end of the day, we're trying to improve law enforcement. I don't highlight a lot of good encounters about law enforcement because you got the way I see it is you got the mainstream media and Law and Order and I'm not feeling bad for good cops because at the end of the day, you have a bunch of propaganda outlets out there pushing your narrative that you're heroes. So, if people want to watch that, they can
I'll
do
do you
too.
one better. When people wind up looking at me and saying, why don't you ever highlight good cops? My comment is, that's their fucking job. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. It's as simple as that.
Right.
All right. Yeah, you're live. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, Dominic, it's Nathan. How are you doing?
Hi, Nathan. You got SeanPaul. What do you got to say to him?
I just want to say I did share your live stream. Just spreading the word. All I'm saying is that y'all are doing both good jobs. Keep doing what y'all are doing and to spread the awareness.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you. You're a big fan of the show. We like Nathan. Let's see. Where are we at? And okay, 647 calling you back. Guys, I'm just taking you in order. I appreciate all your calls. All right, as we're calling people back too, guys, a lot of you are expressing, and I had a ton of phone calls. I do call you back, and I do my best. Sometimes it takes a week to get back to you. One of the issues that people are asking is, what can we do about this? If you click on the link of any description of the videos I do, we started a Patreon group for exactly that. I'm great at bringing up the conversation. Sean's great for bidding on action. But together and collectively, there's times where maybe we need to sit there and find out, well, we need to flood the courthouse for Sean's date. Maybe there needs to be a peaceful civil protest outside of Fahey's residence. I don't know what the answers are. So if you click on the link for Patreon, we started a Cop Talk Live. Every month we have a town hall, and once a week on Sundays we have a roll call where we come together and talk about what to do with these issues. Maybe we start running and primarying people and showing support for the next mayor of whatever town Groton is, or the state's attorney, and maybe we get behind them and make a massive fucking difference. But Sean's out there doing the work. You're liking it. You're clicking. You're watching. But together we have to come up with action for this.
Very true.
That's what we started.
I mentioned this briefly on my channel. I'll mention it briefly on yours, if I may. July 25th is my court date. I plan, if you want to come there and support, I plan on bringing the billboard truck, photographers, signs. If you're in the Groton, Connecticut area, if you are even farther than that and you want to come on July 25th, Friday, 9 in the morning, meet at the New London Courthouse in Connecticut, Geographical 10. Just show up, show your support. We need to flood the courtroom. We need to have that every seat in there full so that they can see in person. It's one thing to see the views online. It's another thing to see people in person right there. So I'd appreciate your support.
100%. You're live with Sean from Long Island Audit. What's going on? Oh, jeez. Yeah, you're live with SeanPaul from Long Island Audit. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Good. What's going on?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Sean? Hope you're doing all right. So I just have one, kind of down-to-earth question. I've actually been following the whole thing with you and Fahey since it started like 4 years ago with the initial reaction. And, I will acknowledge Fahey wrong for what he did. He should not have done that. That was disgusting. And I was actually kind of scared for you for a little bit. But part of me has to ask, after everything that's happened the last 4 years, and if I'm not mistaken, you're currently suing him, right?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So but I have to ask, you had to know that you were not going to get a good reaction going to that man's house like that. Like, I'm like, all jokes aside, like everything else, just down-to-earth question. Like, what kind of reaction were you expecting? You know, don't get me wrong. You did not deserve what happened to you, but you had to know you were going to get a negative reaction, right?
I'll answer the question. I was expecting a lawful reaction. That's what I was expecting. A lawful reaction. No one can break the law. No one is above the law. I was expecting, like I said this in the video, he can be angry I knocked on his door. He could be upset. He can curse at me. I support his First Amendment right. And I would go to, if he got arrested for cursing and screaming at me and that's all he did, I'd be on this platform and every other platform saying that was an injustice. I would. But that's not what he did. And again, you have to learn to control yourself. You can't just come out and spit on somebody and brandish a firearm and chase them down. He says, I'm here protecting, and lie about them, saying that I was going to kill them. He says, I'm here protecting my home and my family. His home and his family were the other direction, not the direction he went. He was not protecting his home and his family. He was trying to do harm to me. That's what he was trying to do.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate your
question, though.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I will answer any question. I like that question. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was a great answer, too, as well. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're live with SeanPaul from Long Island Audit. What's going on?
You know what? I want to congratulate Sean. He is such an asset to our country in the way he handles himself and exposes tyrants.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
And Izzo, I got to your program from watching SeanPaul's. I tripped onto SeanPaul's, and I must have watched 100 or so of his videos and more. And that's how I found you, Izzo. But I think what this Fahey did was so fucking, pardon my English, it was so despicable that I don't know how you held back from not laying that man flat out on his back. I congratulate you on that.
Yeah, you're appreciate your call. Thank you. You're Hispanic, right, Sean?
Puerto Rican, yeah.
Well, so you got machismo. You do not disrespect a fucking dude. No. I'm pretty fucking impressed how you took that.
No. And listen, I mean, and I've told him every time, you know what? Why didn't he come out? Why did he go back in and get his gun? The tough guy that he is. He grabbed me by my chest the first interaction. He said, I'm not the one, poking his finger into my chest. You're not the one, but yet you go back and get, if you really took offense with me knocking on your door, you could have came out and we could have handled it. Right?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
So that guy had to be, he had to be 5'7" like me. Holy shit. Yeah, you still there? Hello?
Nope. Looks like we lost him.
All right. Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to talk to Sean and let him know how much of a great job he's doing. And just to tell him, he's doing a great job. Keep doing what he's doing. And I'm watching your show, Dominic. You are also doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right,
I
buddy.
appreciate it as well, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay. Take care, brother. Hey, Sean. Sean,
yes.
Listen, do not let that Fahey fucker get the best of you, but you got to be careful, my brother. You have to be very careful because you know that motherfucker doesn't like you. So, you got to... You gotta watch what you're doing, and again, I love the both of you guys. Sean, I started to watch you first, but Dominic is also doing a great job.
I'm glad that I'm able to that my platform was able to bring some people over here to appreciate his content, because I was watching Izzo's content before I even came on the show. I think I remember when he said he called me an asshole or whatever he called me.
Yeah, I said you're an instigator. I said I didn't like it, and he was an instigator. So
I remember when he said
100%. That. And now it's like, okay, but it's not illegal to be that. So appreciate the call. We're gonna talk to some other people, but thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Take care, guys.
All right, 413, giving you a call back. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, you're live with SeanPaul from Long Island Auto. What's going on?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Good.
What do you got?
I have some firsthand knowledge with Sean. I didn't meet Sean, but Sean came to my facility. I'm a correctional officer. He came to Carl Robinson Correctional Institution in Enfield, Connecticut. I am an employee of that prison, and I was embarrassed to see how my fellow staff members handled him, and he was the most polite auditor I've ever seen come through that prison. Sean's very, very polite and considerate from what I've seen, and I was right in the control center when Sean was dealing with the outer perimeter guys at my facility. So I just wanted to give
that the New York one?
Kudos.
No, in Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Connecticut.
Yeah,
And I appreciate the kind words, and I'm these are the kinds of things, and I get emails from correctional officers, law enforcement officers across the country, and it always makes me proud to know that there are people who still believe in our Constitution working in these agencies. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, Sean, we'll take a couple more. You got a family you got to deal with.
No problem.
Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Ooh.
Hello? Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're live with SeanPaul from Long Island Auto. What's going on?
Just wanted to say I just found your channel from watching Sean's videos. I think that Sean's doing a great job, and what you're doing is great. I think you're protecting our free speech, and I think you're also protecting people from harassment. And I also want to say I think that looked like RICO stuff to me, what happened to Sean there, because the way the guy came at him, first of all, was insane. I mean, if you look at the video, the guy was getting ready to kill him. It was literally obvious. I've never seen anything like that in my life out of a cop. And then to use the Lord's name in vain to identify the Connecticut State Police, to me, was just shocking. By the way, Sean, I'm from Long Island. I was born in Islip, and I'm 65 years old. I climb and cut trees for a living. And, my job's hard and dangerous too, and nobody's, praising me or anything. But, and by the way, my mother was from Puerto Rico. So,
cool, man. Long Islanders, all from, and both have roots in Puerto Rico. Very cool, man.
Just thought I'd tell you that, but I think this is RICO stuff, because if you think about it, come on, there's some kind of conspiracy going on there. 1 minute, you're backing away and the guy's coming at you with a gun, and the next minute he's telling the police, falsely, making a false report that you were threatening his life.
If he's willing to do that while being recorded, what is he willing to do on a traffic stop or dealing with the people? Appreciate your call, but you're 100% correct.
You should be put on the Brady list.
Like that.
That's the first step.
Yeah, you get
Brady
put on
list, fired, prosecuted. And you know what? There is an actual statute. You talk about prosecution, right? For these cops that violate their oath, that violate our rights under color of law. There is a federal statute. Where is the FBI? There is a federal statute that cops can be charged with for violating our constitutional rights under the color of law, and it is so rarely used.
It's 2 years in federal prison if you're convicted, minimum.
Yeah, let's start charging some people with that.
But you get put on the but wait a second, you get put on the Brady list. Next thing you know, you're going to have a hit YouTube show about pulling people over and talking to them like they're pieces of shit. Yeah, you're live with SeanPaul. What's going on?
Dom and Sean, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
It's Tom Wilson.
Hi, Tom. What do you got for SeanPaul?
Sean, I'm the one that I reached out to you about Fahey and about, being careful about what you say and comments and stuff like that you post to YouTube, and also some of the wording on your change.org petition about, putting things up there that aren't entirely accurate. Just be careful, because you don't want the tyrant DA and stuff like that, the state's attorney, to sit there and try and twist it around like you're trying to stalk them or reach out to them through a third party and stuff like that. So
yeah, we appreciate you.
I do appreciate that. And the changes were made on the change.org petition. I didn't write it myself. Somebody on my team did, but I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, and thanks. Appreciate it. Really, I do.
Yeah, because I don't want to see you get hemmed up because Fahey shot somebody in 2014, right?
We saw that too.
Yep. Yeah, I'm working on speaking to people involved in that situation, so we'll see.
Yeah, he was obviously looking to add to his tally that day.
We do. We appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in. Let's take one more. You're live with SeanPaul Reyes from Long Island Audit. We'll end the night with you. What's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Oh, hey. So I am a former law enforcement officer. I've been following SeanPaul for quite a while here. I do want to shout out to Waveland. Good on them for implementing a DEI program for learning disabled cops. Really appreciate that.
Well played.
So between this thing with Fahey and then with Joffrey, and this has gotten me a little bit fired up. I don't want to start auditing, but where would you suggest we start?
This is why, I've people ask me all the time, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I've tried to make changes, right? Like by running. I ran for Cook County Sheriff out here in Chicago, and the system is insane. Problem with people like me is that I think I could take everything on for myself, right? Sean clearly is in action. I mean, not in action, but in action doing things. And we're a nation of people who like to stay behind the keyboard. Well, we can still utilize that. I started a town hall where I don't care if you're anti-police, but you want to see change, or you're pro-police, you want to see change. Once a month, the first Thursday of the month, we come together and we talk about these issues and how to change them. And we do a weekly roll call as well. This is the Patreon Cop Talk Live for specifically this issue. The amount of people today who I had to take my aunt for a procedure at the doctor. And when I'm in the waiting room, I'm talking to people and they're all going, what can we do? What can we do? There are smart, incredibly intelligent people out there who watch Sean's videos and my videos. And you guys are limited to the comment section. Come educate us. I will tell you, I'm going to put words in Sean's mouth.
Everybody has their own skills, right?
Oh my God. Sean will put your words into action. I'll put your words into action. Give us and other people the weapons we need to go fight this tyranny. That could be protesting. It could be finding. Maybe somebody out there is like, oh my God, I want to run for office, but you don't have the platforms and we do. Let us get to know you. Let us advocate for you in primary. So this is what we want to do. Again, every description that I have of a video has Cop Talk Live for Patreon. Join it. I don't care. Become a member and let's solve this issue together. But I want to ask this before we let you go. As law enforcement, you see both sides of the First Amendment auditing and the civilian aspect of it. How do you feel about what Sean's doing based on both sides of that? What you see?
No, I appreciate it. I've seen some amazing law enforcement officers that I've worked with, and I've seen absolute incompetence, and it's part of the reason. It's part of the reason I went into the private sector. I couldn't take it anymore, man. I think you, knowing a little bit about your background, I think you understand where I'm coming from there.
Yeah, it sucks that we force people like you out. The country needs people like you, and you're so disheartened and broken and disenfranchised that you fucking leave the profession. That's the greatest strategy we have.
It's really horrible.
Appreciate your time, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right, SeanPaul, where can people support you? What do you need from everyone?
So I would just ask that you put the change.org. I know you already shared it. You've signed it. Izzo, if you could just put in the description of this video, the change.org petition, or you can go to any of my community posts. We currently have over 20,000 verified signatures, 21,000 verified signatures, and it's only been live for 24 hours. So we need that to get to like 50, 100,000. We need millions. Like I started it a little bit late, but again, it's all over my videos. Just comment on the videos. Just let us know if you can make it to the protest. I'm going to have a protest on the day of my arraignment on July 25th at the courthouse in New London, Connecticut, Geographical District 10. Any way you could support. If you have skills, it's a great point you make, Izzo, that, and I've realized this, and I haven't found a way. I have to figure out a way to harness this power, because yes, it's views, yes, it's people, yes, they're calling, yes, they're commenting. But good point. They could be running for office. They can have the support of. I could support them. I get to know them. I could support them for office. I have a billboard truck. If you're from Long Island, I want to install people in positions of power to serve the people in the way that they're supposed to, because our two-party system's so corrupt that they only elect people who are going to do good by them, by each other, by the wealthy, by everything else. So that's a good point you make. And even like you're an accountant, you're a forensic accountant. Let's take a look at the Connecticut State Police budget. I'm no good at that, but you might be an accountant sitting at home saying, hey, different, whatever your skill may be, everybody has their own skills in life. Maybe you're an expert in AI, whatever the case may be. We can use you guys as weapons, as he said, to combat this tyranny and corruption. And I just want to say really quick, my brother-in-law, my sister are watching you. They found you from me. So hi to John. Hey, what's up, man? Just wanted to say hi. I wanted to do that. Thank you. He's a big fan of you. So.
I appreciate that. I don't want to put more on your plate, but I think that there's going to be a time very quickly where there's other First Amendment auditors. You're the standard, in my opinion. I'm not sucking your ass, is what it is. But that being said, there's only so much you could do. And for right now, the goal should be you should be becoming unemployed, but that's never going to happen. And you could keep doing it, right? And then you would think that over time that people are going to get it, and this is not going to. I think what needs to happen is this needs to be taken to the next step. If cops won't take this education, then I think that maybe you need to start a First Amendment auditor school. I think that you need to pioneer that and have these people trained the right way. I'm not going to insult him or mention his name, but I think everybody knows who I say when I say we have one of the biggest ones out there who just is confrontational by nature. Right. We need more people who know the law as American citizens and what they can do. So down the road, I think that might be a route for you.
That's a good idea. Maybe like a training program or like just so where we can get a lot of people with cameras out there. And doing it the right way, because the court of public opinion is just as important as the court of, to me, it's more important than the court of law. So, we need to do it the right way and get these bootlickers to, hey, he didn't really do anything wrong, because it's all about changing. You're always going to have the people who support you and the people who don't, but you got the people in the middle. Those are the people that I've been able to, which is why my channel has grown, which is why my platform has grown, is I was able to get the people in the middle over to my side and say, hey, listen, we the people, right? We need to be against the government. Like when did we start worshiping government officials? Like when did we start being cult members to government officials? Like that's not the way this is supposed to work. Wake up.
I want to call this out too. I'm not out to make friends. I really am not. And there's a trend that you've been setting lately. I've been consistent, calling out bad cops for fucking years. I have been. But other people who are doing pro-law enforcement content lately are now seeing the money and the attention is in the calling out bad police. So we have a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing fucking cops, pro-cop supporters who do police content that now see the way to get attention is to call out bad cops. They never would have done it if it wasn't for you going out there and exposing this shit. So I think it's disingenuous.
I will say that, if they're doing that, that's, because if you don't believe in something, I believed in the mission from day one, before I was getting paid, before I had 1 million subs, before I have 500 million views. I believed in the mission. You quit the profession. You've been talking about this the whole time. So, I appreciate you saying that. And, we got to expose those people, and we need to come together and make sure that we are doing this for the right reasons, that we are getting the right results, because all of this talking is no good without results. So we need to get the right results. We need to use everybody watching right now. I highly suggest, if you're from my channel, stay tuned. I come on this channel. I've only been on once before, but I hope to come on more and have these conversations. Maybe we can get some other people coming on here as well. We can get, other law enforcement officers to come on here and we can have conversations, because that's how we're really going to change things and get some real results in what we're hoping to achieve.
Lastly, Sean, give that court date again so people can wind up
July
flooding
25th, 9 a.m. July 25th, Friday, July 25th, New London, Connecticut, the New London Courthouse. That's where I will be arraigned on these bogus voyeurism, criminal trespassing, breach of the peace charges. So I'll see you there.
Guys, make sure if you're on my channel, subscribe to Long Island Audit. Support this man's work. It is some of the most important stuff out there. We are live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You guys can call in. I will try to touch base with those who missed your call tonight and your text messages. Thank you. Go to patreon.com, Cop Talk Live. Become a member. Let's have conversations about how to solve these problems, and let's thank Sean properly for the work he's doing. Otherwise, what are we doing this for? So, SeanPaul, again, thanks for joining tonight. It's great to talk to you again.
Totally agree. Thanks for having me.
All right, be safe, guys. We'll talk to you soon.